want to know that you're right with God. That's something that's intrinsic and very, very important to Africans. So, you know, Christianity, as it turns out, was a religion that we got from the slave master. But it's very interesting, when we got that religion only after slavery. We had to practice it in secret. And he told us, and you know, the thing about the way he gave us the Christian message, very interesting. Because he clearly does not believe in Christianity the way we believe in it. Once again, we have to go back to the teachings of Christ and the religion of Christianity. Two separate things. Absolutely two separate things. One of the reasons why Christianity was ideal as a religion for us, you know, is that pie in the sky after you die, pray for those who despitefully use you, forgive your brother 70 times 70, my Father in heaven has mansions. It's the perfect religion for a slave because it tells you to forgive your enemy. This is why it's interesting that black people generally, if you look at what happened in history, it seems like after years of slavery, after millions and millions of the ancestors were killed, we almost immediately forgave white folks for slavery. And this is because the religion of Christianity is designed to passive. Their teaching of the religion of Christianity to us is designed to make us passive. It's interesting that Dr. Martin Luther King, a man who I greatly admire, who achieved a great many tangible things for African people, African Americans in this country, he declared that he was a soldier for Christ, and he was promoting the ideas of Jesus Christ with his nonviolent approach to social change. Ironically, the very Ku Klux Klan that hated Dr. King, that lynched black people in the South, also claimed Christianity. They would burn the cross on a black man's lawn, the very symbol of the religion. Yes. So how is it possible that two people following the same religion have such diverging opinions on how to approach a problem? Interestingly enough, America is considered the #1 Christian nation in the world. But it also is the #1 arms dealer in the world. Yes. This country is responsible for more war and weapons of war than any other country in the world. So if that is true, how is it that the white man in this country can consider himself a Christian? He neither turns the other cheek, he neither prays for those who despitefully use you. All you have to do is think about the hundreds of thousands who have been killed in Iraq. The fact of the matter is that their behavior is incompatible with the teachings of Christ. But the reason why it's incompatible is because they are dealing with Christianity and not the teachings of Christ. Interestingly enough, when Constantine in the 300 ADs decided to make Christianity the state religion of Rome, he did it as an empire-saving move. The empire was crumbling, and part of the reason why the empire was crumbling is people had abandoned faith in the polytheism and the paganism, the pagan cult of Rome, which he was considered to be God in the pagan Rome, along with other gods in the pantheon of the Roman, there were so many diverging religious practices that he felt that was a threat to the empire. You had people involved in Mithraism. You had people involved in the teachings of Christ. You had people who were involved in a cult of Isis. You had people who were involved in the Roman pantheon concept of worship. But what happened was, he said, the best way I can preserve my empire is to scrap all these religions and create one universal religion, putting in elements of all of these different religions and call it Christianity, and that's exactly what happened. And so you get the paganism from the Roman pantheon and the you know, because the Catholic Church was the first church. It means universal Catholic Church. All of these Protestant denominations are Protestant movements. They protested what the Catholics were doing and did something different. But the mother church was the Catholic Church. So when you go back in history, you realize the mother church was established by a guy who was a pagan, who made a move that was political. So when white people hear Christianity, they think of Christianity as an empire-building tool, as an empire-preserving tool. So when a white man says this is a Christian nation, he's not talking about the Christians, he's talking about white supremacy. So I tell people that Christianity and white supremacy are one and the same. There is no difference. That's why you see so many statues of divine that came out of Christianity. And what happened with the black mind is that once the black man accepted the idea that the creator was white, it explained to him exactly what the slave master told him on the plantation. You are being punished and subjected to slavery because you're not white. You're being punished and subjected to slavery because you have no relationship with God, and if you do have one, it's not the same relationship that I have. We forget that even abolitionists felt that black people were inferior to white people. You get the church, Amy Zion Church, and all of these African Methodist Episcopal churches were established because these black preachers were involved in white churches, and they were in the North and had to sit in the back and were treated, you know, like second-class citizens. So we need to be aware of the fact that the black church grew as a result of a protest movement. And the number one thing about the black church, it was established with an understanding that Christianity was steeped in racism. Yeah. And Islam is no different. You have the same thing with the Arabs and the Arab slave trade. The first caller to pray in Islam was a guy named Bilal. He was a slave. And so Arabs have a long history of enslavement. This is why you have issues in Sudan. I know brothers who are Muslims. I know a brother who was a Muslim who was enslaved in Mauritania, and he told me that his whole family is Muslim. So this is nothing but racism. And when it comes down to analyzing the religious role in racism, let me tell you something. You had Jews who participated as finances in the slave trade. We had Christians. We know what they did in the West with the African slave. So we have a lot of people who have professed to be religious, who have done nothing but put their foot in the behinds of African people and still profess that they're part of some kind of religious affiliation. Right. So we have to wake up and realize that it's about spirituality. If you're going to practice one of these religions, don't be naive to the racism that still may exist in your particular religion. And that's why I tell black people we have no refuge other than to say that we're going to be protectors of each other, that the whole of humanity has had a good time stealing from African people, enslaving African people, manipulating African people, and playing games with us. And until we wake up and realize that our best defense against all this is to love one another, to be unified with one another, and to decide for ourselves how we are going to relate to the Creator. And that's very important, because you cannot fight a war with the idea that if you look at the way we deal with white oppression, we say that we're going to pray the oppression away. We're going to wait for God. We're going to wait for angels in heaven. We want to, you know, it's not an effective approach to the practical problems that we have. If religion was our problem, it'd be solved overnight, because we got churches, mosques, synagogues everywhere. We're so religious. When you go to a white neighborhood, it takes miles to see another church. Now we got the church every year. The white man who has committed more murder and more aggression against different peoples on the planet, he's not obsessed with the idea that he's not blessed.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He's not upset, but we believe that there's something wrong. God is punishing me because I did this. God don't have time for your individual problem. There's an old saying that God is no respecter of persons. If you do the right thing, you get blessed. If you do the wrong thing, you don't get blessed. And the prospering of the wicked is an illusion.